Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, and yeah, back here with Tataru. Let's see what she wants. I think we're supposed to be a picture here, but no, other no. Okay. Serenia, just the hero I wanted to see. Would you mind doing me a small favor? I need you to meet me at the Diamond Forge. This won't take long, I promise. See what she wants from us. I'm sorry to drag you away from your duties, but as I said, this won't take long. I just need you to stand perfectly still for a few moments. What? Huh? Right, everyone, ready to go to work? No screaming now. Oh, and you might want to close your eyes. There, all finished. The Warrior of Light's every measurement from heroic head to intrepid toe. Yeah, what was that all about? Well, wouldn't you like to know? All in good time, Serenia. All in good time. Hey, done? Found you. Alphinaud wants everyone in the Solar for a meeting. I don't know what's that about, but he seems to think it was very important. Go on, I have everything we need. No sense in keeping everyone waiting. Sometimes the tower can be scary.
We're here. Did we miss anything?
We would not presume to begin without you, Ida. Eorzean has returned to the Waking Sands, but everyone else is now present.
Yes, but for what exactly? We all have duties to attend to, Alphinaud, so you may dispense with the preamble.
Thank you, Elisée. It is the very subject of those duties which compelled me to call this gathering. Though the Warriors of Darkness no longer pose a threat, Eorzea's many troubles demand no less of our attention. And while I stand by the decision to approach each task as we see fit, I fear our effectiveness will ultimately be diminished should we continue to act in ignorance of each other's efforts. Thus, I propose we elect a successor to Minfilia. Not to serve as a fully fledged antecedent, perhaps, but as a coordinator of operations.
Is that all? Oh, then the decision seems clear. No one else has shown any enthusiasm for the role, and judging by your performance at our previous meeting, you would seem the perfect candidate. You always did have a flair for politics.
I did not mean to... That was not my intention. As my tenure as commander of the Crystal Braves comprehensively demonstrated, I lack the qualities required for such an office. I would much prefer to remain as I am now, a soldier in the field, so to speak.
Should none of our numbers step forward, must we then constrain some unwilling candidate to take up the position?
Well, based on merit alone, a certain adventurer would be my choice. Though I concede she might struggle to balance her new responsibilities with, let me see, slaying primals, thwarting legatuses, and feeding the orphan poor.
Thancred makes a good point. Any who would wear such a mantle would be bound by its obligations. Have we not become sufficiently familiar with each other's methods to act without an overseer? At present, I see no cause to so willingly limit one of our number.
Oh my goodness! You're... Help! I need some help here!
Uh-oh.
Tataru, are you all right?
Me? I'm fine. It's this poor girl who just staggered in and collapsed on the floor that I'm worried about.
Narco! Gods, how did... Y'shtola! Please, you have to help her!
Kral, a hand if you would. Let us see about closing these wounds.
Now, we've staunched the bleeding, but it may be a while before you can move about again. Though having seen your wounds, I'm surprised you are still moving at all.
Thank you. My message. It was too important to delay. I took the shortest route I could, though I knew it was more heavily patrolled. As you can see, my efforts at evasion were not entirely successful.
Honestly, you're too brave for your own good. What was so urgent that you needed to fight half the Empire to get here? You could have been killed.
I'm sorry, Ida. I had good reason. But I imagine your friends are wondering who this bloody mess of a Mikote is. My name is Minago, and I belong to the Ala Mhigan resistance. I came to warn Ida and Papalimo about one of our leaders. A man who calls himself the Griffin. He's always been dangerous, but he's planning something new. Something reckless.
The Griffin, you say? I've heard the name. Rumor has it your man is eager to test his claws.
Aye, and on no easy target. He means to assault Belthar's wall from the Ala Mhigan side.
But what does the Griffin possibly hope to gain from such an attack?
From what I understand, he wants the fires of war to spread to Eorzea. And for that, he needs to control the border with Gridania.
So, he means to spark a conflict between the Alliance and the Imperial forces stationed in Ala Mhigan, to have Eorzea's armies aid in the liberation effort, whether they will it or no.
His plan is flawed. Even should the Resistance succeed in occupying the wall, they would not be able to hold it. Imperial reinforcements would drive them out within a week.
Be that as it may, if there is even a chance that this scheme could bring about an escalation in hostilities between Eorzea and the Empire, the Alliance must be informed.
Agreed. I shall depart for Limsa forthwith and seek an audience with the Admiral. Thancred, Uldar is yours. Alphino and Alize, make haste to the Twelveswood and notify the Elder Seedseer of the danger to Gridania. She will duly call a council of the Alliance leaders, whom you must be ready to receive. You will be our voice in Ishgard. Explain the situation to Sir Emmerich and encourage him to send an envoy.
All right.
Tataru, Krile, I leave the care of our injured messenger to you. See that she remains quiescent and her wounds closed. I believe that covers everything. Let us be about our tasks.
I suspect the ill tidings from Girabania will be held as a turning point. The beginning to a bloody end. The business of war was ever conducted with the coin of self-sacrifice. 'Twas Master Louis Soir himself who taught us that such costs are not to be ignored or denied. And so, I shall embrace them. When the time comes, I will make my choice. as you will yours.
Uh-huh. Papalimo, that wasn't ominous at all. Okay, Amoric. Bad news. Oh, Lucia? I need to speak with Lord Commander. Greetings, Warrior of Light. What business brings you to Ishgard? An important message for the Lord Commander. I see. Wait here. I will summon Sir Amoric. It's good to see you, my friend. 'Tis but a pity it must be under such circumstances. Had Lucia not informed me of the urgency of her suit, I would certainly have sent for some wine. But to business. I thank you for bringing these developments in Ala Mhigan to our attention. Ishgard will of course send an envoy to attend the council in Gridania. I cannot say who will represent us, however, as the choice is not mine to make. Not mine alone, at any rate. Given the imminent threat, we may forego the formalities of a full assembly, but I still need to consult my counterpart in the House of Commons prior to proceeding. Will you permit me some time to make the necessary arrangements? I thank you. Our representative, whomever we select, will require a suitable escort. Make your preparations and inform Sir Handel, but he is to lead in your absence. Yes, Lord Commander. Serenia, pray accompany Lucia to the gates of judgment and make ready to depart for Gridania. I will have our envoy join you as soon as I can. Fury speed you on your way. We meet again. As it happens, my counterpart in the House of Commons agreed that I should act as Ishgard's envoy. Not, I concede that there was ever any real doubt. As Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, it is my duty to sanction any military cooperation. Be that as it may, I could not in good conscience make the decision alone, not with the ink scarcely dry in the Republic's Book of Statutes. I trust you understand, my friend. Alas, I must test your patience still further by making a brief stop at Camp Dragonhead. Given the trouble brewing in the Black Shroud, I would see that the garrison is ready to defend the border. So, it was never in doubt that he would be sent, but no need to mention that because it wasn't absolutely certain yet and he had to ask properly. You're almost finished, so let's leave it. The garrison commander waits within. Why not accompany me, Serenia? You may see a familiar face. Really? Serenia, old girl, how wonderful to see you. And Sir Emmerich too. To what do I owe these unexpected pleasures? I will have some mulled wine brought up from the kitchen at once, if you will excuse. Nay, do not trouble yourself, Honora. We will soon be on our way. Lucia, a brief summary, if you will. Yes, Lord Commander. Those villains hardly needed an excuse to wage war. Bloodletting comes as naturally as briefing to a to an Imperial. And thus we strengthen our patrols as you suggest. We shall also be sure to communicate these developments with Lord Franzel and the Observatorium. I see you have everything in hand. Carry on, Commander. Surprised to see yours truly at the helm? Yeah, kinda. You and me both, old girl. I doubt I ever feel worthy to sit where he sat. Yet we can but play the hand we're dealt. And with a little help from the veterans and Honora's ceaseless chiding, I'm sure I muddle through, so worry not, old girl. Off to Gridania with you. Good luck to you. Okay, that is... I'm curious. Is there now actually a portrait? There is. That's cool. Come on. We're done here. Seems so peaceful. One would scarce believe that Balthazar's wall and wretched Ala Mhigan lie but a few short months away. Diplomatic issues have brought me here on several occasions, but I find that I am as enraptured by the Black Shroud's beauty now as when I first laid eyes upon it. I fear that this time, however, events shall not afford us the luxury of enjoying the splendor of a forest. It seems we have an escort to the Lotus Stand. A pleasant place to discuss unpleasant matters, is it not? Yes, of course. 'Tis like that we are the last to arrive. Let us announce ourselves, shall we? The envoy from Ishgard has arrived? Very good. This way if you... Ah, the Luminescent party as well. Ah. Admiral? Lady Yugiri? I had hoped to slip in unnoticed, but I see I was not the only one delayed in my arrival. Greetings, Sir Emmerich. Admiral, always a pleasure. And Serenia, I trust you are well? 'Tis a day for reunions, it seems. I believe you are well acquainted with my escort. Lady Serenia, I'm glad to hear from Ryol that the missing Scions have now been found. There's much more I would discuss with you, but let us first attend the issue at hand. Shall we?
I bid you welcome, my friends. As you will by now be aware, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have come into possession of certain intelligence concerning recent developments in the region of Gyr-Abania. It springs, I am assured, from an unimpeachable source. Is that not so, Master Alphino?
Indeed, Elder Seedseer. Our information comes directly from a member of the Resistance's inner circle, and we have no cause to doubt its veracity.
This Griffin of theirs is a fool if he thinks he can hold Belsar's wall against the Empire. When the Imperials move to take it back, they will come in force. And the resulting fighting is all but certain to spill over into the Black Shroud.
At the Battle of Cartano, the combined might of 3 grand companies labored to contend with the remnants of but a single Imperial legion. Alone, Gridania would be hard-pressed indeed to hold back the tide, should the Garleans turn their minds from reclamation to invasion.
May I once more convey my nation's deepest regrets for our inaction in the days prior to the calamity. 'Tis a stain upon our ledger that I would fain remove. Elder Seedseer, I do hereby request leave to deploy a defensive force within the borders of Gridania. Ishgard's return to the Alliance shall be honored by more than mere ink upon parchment.
The Doman people too would join any effort that weakens our common foe. We are few, but our most seasoned shinobi are at your disposal.
On behalf of my people, I offer you my humble thanks. Gridania welcomes your assistance.
It is time we set our contingency plans in motion. Is the Alliance agreed? Then let us make ready for war. Victory favors the swift. There is much to be done.
The Council knows that Ala Mhigan will not soon be wrested from the Empire, and its decision to bolster the border's defences seems eminently practical. Why then, brother, do you scowl so?
I agree that they have chosen the wisest course available. Indeed, the only reasonable one. Yet something feels awry. In making ready for war, is the Alliance not granting the Griffin the very thing he desired? Any attempt to hold the wall is doomed to failure, aye. But I wonder if we have misjudged the prize for which he plays.
He makes a good argument. That the Council was able to reach an accord so swiftly is a heartening development in itself. I only hope my misgivings prove unfounded. Ah, good. You have yet to depart. I feared I had missed you. Sir Emmerich! Master Alphino, a pleasure as always. And Mistress Alize, how wonderful to see you thus recovered. Pardon the intrusion. I had hoped to thank you, Zerenia. to thank Serenia for serving as our escort before other duties called her away. I also wish to thank our Doman ally. Ah! There she is. Forgive me, my lord. I was but awaiting an opportune moment to join the conversation, and force of habit made me keep to the shadows. No apologies are necessary, Mistress Yugiri. I'm most grateful for your interjection when I offered Ishgard's support. My nation's historic failure to heed the Alliance pleas for aid is a matter of record. Even so, the Alliance leaders were plainly unprepared for my impromptu apology. The resulting air of awkwardness might have lingered longer were it not for your timely offer of cooperation, which allowed the Eorzean to accept us both. I very much appreciate the gesture. I only did my duty, Sir Emmerich. The Empire is an enemy to us all, and we are grateful for the opportunity to fight at your side. And thus, full glad are we to have you. Pray convey my regards to the Scions, my friends. We must return to Ishgard. Whatever's wrong with a simple sorry and, well, thank you? Must these politicians always make a speech out of everything? That is how we adults speak, dear sister. Maybe the ones who like the sound of their own voice. In any case, our business here is concluded. We should be on our way as well. Will you accompany us to Revenant's Toll, Yugiri? Actually, I think I shall first pay a brief visit to the East Shroud. I'm curious to know how Papa Leo and Ida fared in their talk with the Sylphs, not to mention what has been going on at Belsar's Wall. I will join you at the Rising Stones anon. Welcome back, Serenia. I don't know about you, but I'm heartily glad that all of the talking is over. I understand that these council meetings are important, but do you not find it tiresome to have to weigh every word before you speak it? I doubt I will ever feel at home in the realm of politics. That said, people have been known to change, and if my brother is willing to run his own errands, anything is possible. I don't need more food. And if I truly do need it, I can make my own. What are you telling me? Crystal Tower? What is there? Okay. Griffin on the wall. Well, as much as I enjoy the bustle of it all, I think it's time we headed inside. My brother and the others will not be long. Hey, you all. Aye, you returned from the council. But what of Alterno? Did some other matter require his attention? Mine apologies, friends. I trust we have not kept you waiting for over long. Greetings, everyone. Oh, Kryle, how's Nago doing? She will be all right, won't she? I don't see why not. She's sleeping at the moment. Tataru's keeping an eye on her, so we'll know soon enough if there's any change in her condition. Her wounds are healing well. With sufficient rest, I'm certain she will make a full recovery. Thank goodness for that. Now mayhap you would share with us the Council's decision? Each of a nation, Ishgard included, has committed committed to providing military support to Gridania. The Eorzean Alliance will soon have a significant force in the Black Shroud, ready to respond to any Imperial act of aggression. You know, I almost wish the Council would stop messing around and give Griffin what he wants. I wouldn't like to be the Imperial caught between the Resistance and the Alliance. Ida, you cannot seriously... One does not lightly to go to war with the Garlean Empire. Quite. To open hostilities without due consideration would be to invite disaster. If only there were some way to reach the Griffin, some means to convince him to abandon this reckless course. It may not be entirely unfeasible. There's a network of tunnels beneath Belsar's wall, secret passages dug by the Resistance to provide a way out of Ala Mhigan, which may equally serve as a way in. Precisely. If all are in agreement, I would be one to undertake the necessary negotiations. I am familiar with the route, and the Resistance is familiar with me. About as familiar as they are with me, you mean. Say what you want, I'm coming too. I have some experience in the practice of infiltration. If you would have me, my services are at your disposal. As are mine. It's been far too long since I shared a shadow with a shinobi, and I do not intend to waste the opportunity. 4 is quite sufficient for an infiltration mission. Greater numbers will only serve to increase the risk of detection. Kryl and I will direct our energies elsewhere. What of you Leveliers? I will return to the East Shore and stand watch over the border. Should matters take a turn for the worse, it would seem wise to be on hand. Might I prevail upon you to accompany me, Serenia? Gridania will be safer for your presence, and while it may not seem the most thrilling duty, dear sister, might I ask you to remain at the Rising Stones and pass on messages and so on? To hold the fort, you mean? Very well. I suppose the task must fall to someone. Safe travels, all of you. So then, Alphino, if you have any business in the toll, pray attend it now. I would depart for Hawthornhut without delay. The nearby watchtower offers an unobstructed view of Belsar's wall, and I should be interested to speak to the Alliance commanders who have installed themselves at its top. I suspect that Tataru will have little trouble facilitating communications between our forts under normal circumstances. But I concede she has her hands full nursing the Resistance fighter back to health. No matter, my turn in the field will come. You're still at your thing? So, infiltration team. I may perhaps have exaggerated my standing with the Resistance a little, but I'm confident I have a reasonable chance to putting a stop to this madness before events spiral out of control. Yes, fair to middling at the very least. All I'm saying that it wouldn't be the worst thing if we ended up joining the Griffin's fight against the Empire. I mean, it's going to happen sooner or later, isn't it? I'm no ninja, but I did spend some few moons in the Sharlayan homeland learning how to move unseen. Between Yugiri and my humble self, Ida and Papalimo will be well protected. My fellow shinobi required little encouragement to take their place among the Alliance forces massing in Gridania. They're most eager to cross blades with the armies of Garlemald once more. Okay. Then off to, I believe it's East Shroud. Serenia, there you are. Come, Amarisei Aspire awaits. The Alliance officers on the platform should be able to apprise of any development on the wall. Fancy meeting you two here. We were about to set forth. Indeed. I was about to say 12 watch over you, but I doubt you have need of divine protection, even if you are venturing into enemy territory. Don't worry, Alphino. We'll have a Griffin by the scruff of the neck before you know it. Do make up your mind, Ida. Nary a moment ago, you seemed ready to shake the Griffin by the hand rather than the neck. So which will it be? It would be best to decide before we enter into negotiations. Trust me, Papa Limo. I'll shake whatever needs shaking. The talking part I leave to you. I feel a headache coming on. Let's be on the way, shall we? Some things never change. Well then, shall we make for the spire? Our Alliance friends will doubtless have news for us. I actually missed you. Huh? Welcome, Warrior of Light. I assume you are here to speak with our commanding officers. You will find them on the observation platform. Pray proceed. Hey, Pippin. Greetings, friends. 'Tis good to see you both well. I was hoping you might turn up. I've tracked half a watch, you see, and the sight of you might help remind them why we bothered. If memory serves right, I've not seen many of you since the day of the Grand Melee. Having borne the brunt of your blows, may I say what an honor it is to stand at your side. 'Tis heartening to see the realm's most stalwart defenders was gathered in common cause. Speaking of which, what news from the wall? All has been quiet. I'd say that's about to change. What? 7 hells. Fighting has broken out on top of the wall. A full-scale assault. So the Griffin has made his move. Someone has. And what's that supposed to mean? The attackers, they're wearing Grand Company colors. Impossible! We gave no such order. Of course! The wall was never the Griffin's target. It was bait. We have been goaded into employing our armies nearby, was lending weight to this deception. If those uniforms were convincing enough to deceive my scouts, the Empire will surely think we're launching an offensive. This could mean war. Even so, this may yet be no more than a diversion. With the armies of the Alliance occupying the Empire's attention, it would be comparatively easy for the Griffin supporter to slip into Ala Mhigan. He could then incite a rebellion among the populace, which the Imperial reserves would be hard-pressed to contain. Eorzea, meanwhile, would be plunged into chaos. Serenia, we must make for the wall at once. What? Just the 2 of you? Our companions embarked on a mission to sway the Griffin from his course, and are likely halfway to his command post by now. They will emerge in the midst of a raging battle, and I do not mean to abandon them to their fate. It will be dangerous, aye, but the confusion may work to our advantage. If we are careful to avoid the skirmishing, it may yet be possible to reach the Griffin. And if you can do that... Lady Hilda, might I ask that you have an airship ready to bear the Scions to safety? I don't know who this Lady Hilda is, Marshal, but you can count on me. We must prepare for Imperial reprisals. May the Navigator guide us through the storm. Looks convincing enough. Forward, comrades! The time has come to drive the Empire from Ala Mhigan and force actions upon those who have turned their backs to our suffering for so long. Let this victory be the first step in the liberation of our homeland. Ala Mhigan will be free, no matter the cost. And there still stands the Imperial Fortress. From what Papalimo told me, the trail ahead should lead us into the shadow of a wall. As we have two objectives, I suggest we divide our forces. I shall make straight ways for the tunnels and attempt to intercept our comrades ere they stumble into a bloodbath. While I do so, I must ask that you scale the wall. No, that I would not propose such a course if there was any other way. But the time for subtlety is past. Take a band of your most trusted companions and cut a path through to the Griffin. Make him see reason, by any means necessary. Once we are freed of a tunnel, we will make for your position with all due haste. And if everything proceeds according to plan, Hilda will then swoop in and spirit us away to safety. I only pray that we have enough time. And a dungeon. That sounded like a dungeon. Belsa's Wall now accessible.